Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of our discourse is both simple and revolutionary. It's time to focus. Conquer your mind. But I assure you, what we are about to explore goes far beyond mere concentration or mental discipline. We are delving into the very essence of reality itself. You see, my dear friends, your mind is not just a tool for processing information or solving problems. It is the very foundation of your reality. It is the canvas upon which the entire drama of your life unfolds. And it is time. Yes, it is high time that you recognize this power and learn to wield it with intention and purpose. Now, when I speak of focus, I am not referring to the strained attention that you might apply to a difficult task. No, the focus I speak of is a state of being, a deliberate directing of your consciousness towards that which you desire to make manifest in your world. It is the art of seeing your desires and accomplishments, of living in the end result, of experiencing now what you wish to experience and what you perceive as the future. This focus, this conquering of the mind, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies dormant within you. For you see, my friends, your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. The circumstances of your life, the events that unfold around you, the very fabric of your reality, all of these are projections of your own consciousness. Let us pause for a moment and truly contemplate this revolutionary idea. Can you grasp the magnitude of what I am saying? Your mind, your consciousness, is not merely observing reality. Every thought, every belief, every assumption you hold is shaping the world you experience. This is why it is crucial, absolutely vital, that you learn to focus your mind, to direct your consciousness with purpose and intention. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if my mind is creating my reality, why is my life not exactly as I wish it to be? My friends, this is where the true work begins. You see, most people go through life in a state of unconscious creation. Their minds are filled with doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs. And these mental states manifest as the very limitations they fear. But I am here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. You have the power to consciously create your reality, to shape your world according to your deepest desires. And the key to this power lies in your ability to focus, to conquer your mind. So how do we begin this grand endeavor? How do we take control of our minds and, by extension, all reality? The first step, my dear friends, is to become aware of your thoughts, your mental habits, your deeply held beliefs. For you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Begin by observing your inner dialogue. What stories do you tell yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, what's possible for you? Are these stories empowering or limiting? Do they align with the reality you wish to create? Or do they reinforce the very circumstances you wish to change? This awareness is the foundation of all change. For once you become conscious of your thoughts, you gain the power to choose new thoughts. And remember, my friends, thoughts are things. They're the building blocks of your reality. Choose them wisely. Now, once you have cultivated this awareness, the next step is to deliberately choose thoughts and mental images that align with your desires. This is where the true art of focus comes into play. You must learn to hold in your mind's eye a clear, vivid image of your desire fulfilled. You must learn to experience in your imagination the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours if your desire were already realized. This, my friends, is the secret of effective prayer. For prayer is not a pleading with some external power. It is not a beseeching of a distant deity. No true prayer is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is the deliberate assumption of the state of consciousness you would occupy if your desire were already a fact in your world. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the lack of money, to worry about bills, to stress about how to make ends meet. But this focus only serves to perpetuate the very state of lack you wish to escape. Instead, I urge you to assume the feeling of wealth. In your imagination, feel the satisfaction of abundant bank accounts. Experience the joy of effortless bill payments. Live in your mind's eye the life of someone for whom financial abundance is a natural state of being. Do this with conviction, with the assurance that what you are imagining is not a mere fantasy, but a reality that is even now coming into being. You see, my friends, your imagination is not a place to escape reality. It is the very workshop in which reality is forged. What you habitually imagine, you will inevitably experience. This is why it is crucial to guard the gates of your mind. to be selective about the thoughts and images you entertain. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds like mere positive thinking. How can simply imagining something make it real? But you see, it is not mere positive thinking. It is an assumption of the reality of that which you desire. It is a complete identification with a state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. This is why I say it is time to focus, to conquer your mind. For in conquering your mind, you conquer your world. You must become the master of your inner kingdom. For it is from this kingdom that all outer circumstances arise. Let me share with you a powerful technique to aid you in this conquest. I call it the living in the end technique. Here's how it works. Before you go to sleep at night, construct a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents that would be present if your desire were realized. Now enter into this scene. Don't just observe it as a spectator, but step into it as a participant. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were your current reality. Allow yourself to experience the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours. As you drift off to sleep, hold this scene in your mind. Let it be the last thing you think of before you enter the sleep state. You see, my friends, in the state of sleep, your conscious mind relaxes its hold, and your subconscious mind becomes more receptive. By impressing this scene upon your subconscious just before sleep, you are planting a seed that will grow into your future reality. Repeat this process night after night, and you will begin to see changes in your outer world. For remember, your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. As within, so without. This is the law of your being, and it is infallible. Now, I want to address a concern that often arises when I share these teachings. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Surely we can't just imagine things and expect them to happen without any effort on our part. Let me be clear. Action is indeed a part of the manifestation process, but it is inspired action, action that flows naturally from your new state of consciousness. When you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live in the end in your imagination, you will find yourself naturally and effortlessly taking the actions that lead to the realization of your desire. You see, once you have changed your concept of self, once you have assumed the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, your actions will automatically align with this new self-concept. You will find yourself doing things, saying things, making decisions that are in harmony with the reality you have imagined. And these inspired actions will be far more effective than any forced or strained efforts could ever be. This is why I say that the most important work is done in your imagination. For when you change your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the law of your being, and it is absolute. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of focus in mind conquest. You see, my dear friends, your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you habitually think are the seeds you plant in this garden. And like any garden, what grows depends entirely on what you plant and how you tend to it. If you allow your mind to be filled with thoughts of lack, limitation, and fear, these are the seeds you are planting. And inevitably, these seeds will grow into the very circumstances you dread. But if you consciously choose to plant seeds of abundance, of success, of joy, and fulfillment, then these are the fruits your garden will bear. This is why conquering your mind is so crucial. It is not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It is about becoming the conscious gardener of your own mind. It is about choosing with deliberate intention the thoughts and mental images you will entertain. It is about focusing your attention on that which you wish to make manifest in your life. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I maintain this focus? How can I keep my mind fixed on my desire when the current reality seems so different? This, my friends, is where the true test of your faith comes in. For you must have faith not in some external power, but in the power of your own imagination. You must understand that what you see in your outer world is nothing more than a shadow, the reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power to create your future unless you give it that power through your attention and belief. Your true power lies in your ability to imagine and feel a new reality into being. So when your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired state, do not be dismayed. Instead, turn within. Close your physical eyes to the seeming reality of the outer world and open your inner eye to the reality you wish to experience. Feel it, live it, know it to be true in the depths of your being. For I tell you truly, what you can imagine and feel is real. You can manifest in your outer world. This, my dear friends, is the essence of focus. It is not about straining or struggling. It is about choosing where to place your attention, where to direct the power of your consciousness. And as you practice this art of focused imagination, you will find that it becomes easier and more natural. You will discover that you have the power to shift your state of consciousness at will, to assume any state you desire. Now let us speak of persistence, for it is a crucial element in this work of focusing and conquering the mind. You see, my friends, the beliefs and thought patterns that have shaped your current reality are deeply ingrained. They have been reinforced over years, perhaps even lifetimes. They will not be changed overnight, but do not let this discourage you. For every time you choose to focus on your desire, every time you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are weakening the old patterns and strengthening the new. You are literally reshaping the landscape of your mind, and by extension, the fabric of your reality. Think of it like carving a new path through a dense forest. The first time you walk this path, it may be difficult. You may encounter resistance, obstacles, but with each passing, the path becomes clearer, easier to traverse, and eventually becomes the natural way, the path of least resistance. So too with your mind. At first, holding the focus on your desire may feel challenging. The old thoughts, the old beliefs may try to reassert themselves. But with persistence, with faithful attention to the reality you wish to create, the new path becomes established. The new state of consciousness becomes your natural state of being. This is why I urge you to persist in your imaginal acts. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate results in your outer world. Remember, you are working at the causal level of reality. The outer world must reshape itself to match your inner assumptions. And this may take time in your physical experience. But I assure you, the law is infallible. What you persist in imagining and feeling as real must and will become your reality. This is not wishful thinking, my friends. This is the very law by which the universe operates. Now let's address another aspect of conquering the mind. The management of your emotional states. You see, my dear friends, your emotions are incredibly powerful. They are the fuel that gives life and power to your thoughts and imaginal. When you combine a clear mental image with a corresponding emotion, you create a potent force for manifestation. This is why it's not enough to simply visualize your desire. You must feel it. You must experience the emotion that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. If you desire wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that wealth would bring. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the love, the companionship, the deep connection in every fiber of your being. If you desire perfect health, feel the vitality, the strength, the well-being coursing through your body. These emotions, combined with your mental images, create what I call feeling tones. And it is these feeling tones that shape your reality. For the universe responds not to your words or even your conscious thoughts, but to the sum total of your mental and emotional states. This is why conquering your mind also means mastering your emotions. It means cultivating the ability to generate and sustain the emotional states that correspond to your desires. And this, my friends, is a skill that can be developed with practice. One powerful technique for this is what I call living from the end. This involves not just imagining your desire as fulfilled, but actually living your day as if it were already a reality. Make decisions, interact with others. Carry yourself in a manner consistent with the person who already has what you desire. If you're seeking a promotion at work, carry yourself with the confidence and authority of someone in that higher position. If you're manifesting improved health, move and act with the vitality and energy of a perfectly healthy person. If you're calling in your ideal partner, interact with others with the joy and openness of someone who's deeply in love. By doing this, you are not just imagining a new reality, you are embodying it. You are bringing it into being through your very way of being in the world. And as you do this, you will find that your outer world begins to shift and change to match this new state of consciousness. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when I share these teachings. Many ask, but Neville, what about other people? Can we use these techniques to change others or to make specific individuals act in certain ways? My friends, let me be clear on this point. The purpose of this work is not to control or manipulate others. It is to transform yourself, to realize the divine power within you. When you change yourself, when you assume a new state of consciousness, you will find that others naturally respond to you differently. You see, everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. They are reflections of your own consciousness. So when you change your concept of yourself, when you assume a new state of being, the people in your world must change in their behavior towards you, not because you are controlling them, but because they are responding to the new you. This is why I say that there is no one to change but self. There is no one to command but self. For when you conquer your own mind, when you assume the consciousness is your wish fulfilled, the entire world reshapes itself to match your new self-concept. This understanding liberates you from the need to try to change others. It frees you from the frustration of attempting to manipulate external circumstances. Instead, it empowers you to focus on the one thing you have complete control of, your own state of consciousness. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. How exactly does a change in your consciousness create change in your outer world? To understand this, we must explore the nature of time in the structure of reality itself. You see, my dear friends, time as you typically perceive it, as a linear progression from past to present to future, is an illusion. In truth, all time exists simultaneously. The past, present, and future are all occurring now in this eternal moment of creation. What you perceive as the future is simply a state of consciousness that you have not yet assumed. And what you think of as the past is a state you have moved out of. But all states exist now, and you have the power to select and occupy any state you choose. This is why I often say that creation is finished. All possible states of being already exist. Your job is not to create these states, but to select and occupy them through the power of your imagination and feeling. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you occupy the state of consciousness of your desire realized, you are not creating something new. You are selecting and making real in your experience a state that already exists in the infinite sea of consciousness. This is why your imaginal acts are so powerful. When you imagine and feel your desire as real, you are literally stepping into that reality. You are aligning your consciousness with a version of reality where your desire is already fulfilled. And here's the truly miraculous part. Once you align your consciousness with this desired state, once you truly occupy it in your imagination and feeling, the outer world must reshape itself to match this inner reality. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is the law of your being, as real and as reliable as the law of gravity. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds too good to be true. Surely it can't be this simple. And to this I say, yes, it is this simple. But simple does not mean easy. It requires a complete revolution in your thinking, a total transformation of your concept of reality and your place in it. You must be willing to let go of your old beliefs about the nature of reality. You must be willing to release your attachment to current circumstances. You must be brave enough to imagine and feel a new reality into being, even when your senses tell you otherwise. This is why I say it's time to focus, to conquer your mind. For in this conquest lies your freedom, your power, your ability to shape your world according to your desire. As we draw our discussion to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The work we've explored today, this art of focused imagination, this conquest of the mind, is not just about manifesting your desires. It's about awakening to your true nature. It is about realizing the divine power that resides within you. You see, my dear friends, you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power individualized. Your imagination is not just a faculty of your mind. It is the very creative power of God operating in and through you. When you imagine, you're performing the divine act of creation. So as you go forth from here, I urge you to claim this power. Use it wisely and lovingly. Remember that your mind is the garden in which the seeds of your future are planted. Tend it carefully. Focus your attention on that which you wish to make manifest. Conquer the doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs that held you back. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and watch as your world transforms to match your inner state. And above all, persist. For in your persistence lies your power. The world may not change overnight, but I promise you this, as you maintain your focus, as you faithfully occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must and will conform to your inner assumptions. This is the law, and it cannot fail. Go now and create consciously. For the time has come to focus, to conquer your mind, and in so doing, to conquer your world. Let me ask you something that might shake your entire worldview. What if you've been approaching success completely backward? What if, instead of working to become victorious, you simply needed to assume the feeling of victory now? You see, most people live their entire lives waiting to feel victorious. They say, when I achieve this goal, then I'll feel like a winner. But I tell you this, you must feel like a winner first, and then the achievements will naturally follow. Consider this, every great achievement in history began with someone who acted as though they had already won before any physical evidence existed. They carried themselves with the confidence of victory while others saw only defeat. Let me share something profound with you about the nature of victory. Victory isn't an event. It's a state of consciousness. When you truly grasp this, your entire world will transform. You see, most people are waiting for circumstances to make them feel victorious. But I tell you this, circumstances don't create your feelings create circumstances. Think about how you carry yourself when you know you've won something. There's a certain swagger in your step, a gleam in your eye, a confidence in your voice. This is the state you must adopt now, before any external evidence exists. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. But I tell you this, as long as you see these things as future achievements, they will remain in the future. You must live from the end now. Consider what happens when you truly adopt the attitude of someone who has already won. Your entire world must reshape itself to match this new self-concept. This is law. Let me share with you what happens in consciousness when you assume the feeling of victory. Your entire being shifts. Your posture changes. Your voice carries new authority. Your decisions come from a place of confidence rather than fear. Let me tell you something profound about this victorious attitude. When you truly embody it, you're not pretending. You're claiming your natural state. Victory is not something foreign to you. It's your inherent nature. You see, most people approach life from a position of hoping to win. But I tell you this, hope is just another form of doubt. When you know you've already won, there's no need for hope because certainty has replaced it. Consider how differently you move through the world when you know the game is already won. You don't stress about small setbacks. You don't worry about temporary obstacles. You move with the calm confidence of someone who knows the final outcome. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this victorious consciousness consistently. People begin responding to you differently. Opportunities seemingly appear out of nowhere. Doors that were closed suddenly open. Most of you have been taught to wait for victory to feel victorious. But I tell you this, that's exactly backward. You must feel victorious first, and then victory will manifest in your world. You see, this attitude of victory isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about aligning yourself with your true nature. When you act like you've already won, you're simply acknowledging what's already true in consciousness. Think about how you breathe when you're victorious. It's deep, it's confident, it's relaxed. This is how you should be breathing right now, regardless of current circumstances. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs when you maintain this state. Your decisions change because you're no longer operating from a place of fear or lack. You make choices as someone who knows they cannot fail. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about past failures, current struggles, future uncertainties. But I tell you this, all these are irrelevant when you adopt the consciousness of victory. Consider this, every time you doubt, every time you worry, every time you fear, you're denying your victorious nature. You're choosing to act from a consciousness of defeat rather than victory. Let me share with you what happens in the depths of your being. When you truly embrace this victorious attitude, your entire nervous system begins to operate differently. Your body language changes automatically. Your voice carries a new resonance. You see, most people are waiting for something external to give them permission to feel victorious. But I tell you this, the only permission you need is your own decision to embody victory now. Consider what happens when you walk into a room knowing you've already won. Not hoping, not wishing, not planning to win, but knowing with absolute certainty that victory is already yours. The entire atmosphere changes. Let me tell you about the subtle shift that occurs in your relationships when you maintain this victorious consciousness. People begin treating you according to your own self-concept. They respond not to your words, but to the victory you radiate. Most of you have spent years rehearsing defeat in your mind, imagining worst-case scenarios, preparing for failure. But I tell you this, every time you do this, you're denying your victorious nature. You see, This attitude of victory transforms even the smallest actions of your day. When you know you've already won, even the way you sip your morning coffee changes. Everything becomes an expression of victory. Think about how you make decisions when you know you cannot fail. You move with boldness, with certainty, with absolute conviction. This is how you should be moving through every moment of your life. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your natural state. You stop asking, what if I fail? Because failure becomes impossible in your consciousness. You only see paths to victory. Most of you have been conditioned to believe that victory must be earned through struggle and hardship. But I tell you this, victory is your natural state. The struggle comes from resisting this truth. Consider how your entire world must reshape itself when you maintain this consciousness consistently. Everything that doesn't align with your victorious nature must fall away. When you truly embody victory, you're not just changing your mindset, you're altering the very fabric of your reality. You see, most people spend their lives preparing for victory, planning for victory, hoping for victory, but I tell you this, all of that preparation is useless if you don't assume the feeling of victory now. Consider what happens when you wake up each morning already feeling victorious. Your morning routine becomes a victory lap, not a preparation for battle. Your breakfast isn't fuel for the fight. It's a celebration of success. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your work when you maintain this consciousness. Tasks that once seemed daunting become opportunities to express your victorious nature. Challenges become stages for your triumph. Most of you have been taught that confidence comes after achievement. But I tell you this, achievement comes after confidence. When you act like you've already won, success becomes inevitable. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms how you handle setbacks. When you know you've already won, obstacles become merely temporary illusions, stepping stones to your already secured victory. Think about how differently you approach problems. When you know their solution is guaranteed, the stress dissolves. The anxiety vanishes. All that remains is the calm certainty of inevitable success. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this state consistently. Your entire being begins to radiate victory. People feel it when you enter a room. Opportunities are naturally drawn to you. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about all the things you need to do to become victorious. But I tell you this, victory isn't something you become. It's something you express right now. Consider this. Every time you postpone feeling victorious until after some future achievement, you're pushing victory away. Victory must be claimed in the present moment. Let me share with you a deeper truth about this victorious attitude that will revolutionize your understanding. When you act like you've already won, you're not pretending. You're aligning with an existing reality in consciousness. You see, most people approach victory as something distant, something to be achieved through struggle and effort. But I tell you this, victory exists right now in your consciousness, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Consider what happens in your financial world when you maintain this victorious consciousness. Money ceases to be something you chase and becomes something naturally drawn to your victorious state. Success becomes your natural expression. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your physical energy. When you embody this attitude, fatigue disappears because you're no longer fighting against life. You're flowing with your natural victorious state. Most of you have been taught that victory requires sacrifice, struggle, and pain. But I tell you this, those are just stories you've accepted. Victory is your natural state, requiring no struggle at all. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms your relationship with time. When you know you've already won, you stop rushing. You move with the confident pace of someone who knows their triumph is secured. Think about how you breathe when you know you've already won. It's deep, relaxed, confident. This is your natural breath when you're aligned with victory. Adopt this breath now. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your default state. Your dreams no longer seem distant or impossible. They become natural expressions of your victorious nature. Most of you sit here tonight wanting to know the exact steps to victory. But I tell you this, there are no steps to what you already are. There's only recognition and expression. Consider this. Every time you doubt yourself, every time you feel uncertain, you're temporarily forgetting your victorious nature. These moments of doubt are simply opportunities to reclaim your true state. Let me reveal to you something profound about acting victorious that most will never grasp. When you embody victory in every moment, you're not just changing your behavior. You're awakening to your true identity. You see, most people treat victory like a distant destination, something to reach after long journeys of effort. But I tell you this, victory is your starting point, not your destination. You begin from victory, not journey toward it. Consider what happens in your mind when you truly grasp this truth. The endless chatter of doubt falls silent. The constant questioning of, am I good enough, disappears. All that remains is the quiet confidence of victory. Let me tell you about the shift that occurs in your physical presence when you maintain this consciousness. Your posture naturally straightens. Your movements become more graceful. Your entire being radiates an unmistakable authority. Most of you have spent years trying to overcome fear, doubt, and insecurity. But I tell you this, you don't overcome these things. You simply outgrow them by maintaining the consciousness of victory. You see, this victorious attitude transforms every interaction in your life. When you know you've already won, conversations change. Meetings change, relationships change. Everything must align with your victorious nature. Think about how you make decisions when you know success is guaranteed. There's no hesitation, no second guessing, no fear of consequences. This is your natural state of being. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this state consistently. Your entire world begins to mirror your victorious consciousness. Opportunities that once seemed impossible become natural occurrences. Most of you live constantly preparing for future success, future victory, future achievement. But I tell you this, as long as you place victory in the future, that's where it will remain. Consider this, every moment you spend doubting your victory is a moment spent denying your true nature. Your victory itself, expressing itself through your unique form. Let me share with you a truth so profound it will transform your entire approach to life. When you act victorious, you're not just putting on a show. You're tuning into the frequency of your natural state. You see, most people spend their lives reacting to circumstances, letting external events determine their inner state. But I tell you this, when you maintain the consciousness of victory, circumstances must conform to your inner state. Consider what happens to your creative abilities when you operate from this victorious consciousness. Ideas flow effortlessly. Solutions appear spontaneously. Innovation becomes your natural expression. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your sleep when you maintain this victorious state. Your rest becomes deeper, more rejuvenating, because you're no longer battling with doubt and uncertainty in your dreams. Most of you are being taught to be realistic about your expectations. But I tell you this, what's realistic to the victorious consciousness far exceeds what's realistic to the consciousness of limitation. You see, this victorious attitude completely revolutionizes how you handle challenges. When you know you've already won, obstacles become opportunities to demonstrate your mastery. Think about how you speak when you know victory is certain. Your words carry authority. Your voice resonates with conviction. Your communication inspires confidence in others. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your constant companion. Your very presence becomes a catalyst for positive change in others. Your victory inspires their victory. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about all the reasons why victory might not be possible. But I tell you this, those reasons exist only in a consciousness that has forgotten its true nature. Consider this. Every time you embrace limitation, every time you accept defeat, you're choosing to temporarily forget who you really are. Victory is not something you achieve. It's something you remember. Let me reveal to you something about victory that will forever change how you approach every moment of your life. When you act victorious, you're not pretending. You're acknowledging your innermost truth. You see, most people chase success like hungry wolves chasing prey. But I tell you this, when you embody victory, success chases you. It becomes the natural expression of your being. Consider what happens in your body. When you maintain this victorious consciousness, your immune system strengthens, your energy increases, your entire physical being aligns with this elevated state. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your daily habits when you live from this state. Activities that once felt like obligations become celebrations of your victory. Work becomes play. Challenges become adventures. Most of you have been programmed to believe that confidence must come after achievement. But I tell you this, achievement is merely the outer confirmation of the victory you've already claimed in consciousness. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms your perception of time. Past failures lose their sting because you realize they were simply stepping stones to your current victory. Think about how you walk when you know you're victorious. Your stride lengthens. Your steps become purposeful. Your entire movement expresses the certainty of success. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your moment-to-moment reality. Synchronicities increase. Favorable circumstances multiply. Life itself seems to conspire for your success. Most of you have spent years building defenses against failure. But I tell you this, when you maintain the consciousness of victory, there's nothing to defend against. Victory is your natural state. Consider this. Every anxious thought, every worried moment, every fearful anticipation is simply a temporary forgetting of your victorious nature. Return to victory now. Let me share with you the final and most crucial understanding about victory that will complete your transformation. When you maintain the consciousness of victory, you're not becoming something new. You're returning to your original state. You see, most people spend their lives seeking validation from the outer world. But I tell you this, all validation, all confirmation, all proof of your victory must first be established in consciousness. Consider what happens when you move through your entire day from this victorious state. Meetings become opportunities to express your mastery. Challenges become platforms for demonstrating your power. Every moment becomes a celebration of victory. Let me tell you about the final piece of this transformation. When you truly grasp that you've already won, all struggle ceases, all fighting ends, all resistance dissolves. What remains is pure, effortless expression of victory. From this moment forward, I want you to make this sacred commitment to yourself. Promise that you will never again act from a consciousness of defeat. Promise that you will maintain this victorious attitude regardless of appearances. You see, this is the moment where everything changes. This is where you stop seeking victory and start expressing it. This is where you cease struggling to become victorious and simply be victory itself. Think about tomorrow morning when you wake up. Will you rise as the same person who started listening to this message? Or will you rise as victory itself, ready to express your true nature? Let me share with you this final truth. There is no power that can defeat you except your own acceptance of defeat. When you maintain the consciousness of victory, the entire universe must rearrange itself to match your conviction. This is your moment. This is your victory. This is your true nature expressing itself through you. Rise up now, not as someone seeking victory, but as victory itself. Move forward, not as someone hoping to win, but as someone who has already won. Live not as someone becoming victorious, but as victory personified. For in this recognition lies your freedom. In this understanding lies your power. In this knowing lies everything you have ever desired. Go forth now, with the absolute certainty that victory is not your destination. It is your starting point. It is not your goal. It is your nature. It is not your future. It is your eternal now. Let every breath you take be a breath of victory. Let every step you take be a step of triumph. Let every word you speak be a declaration of success. For you are victory itself, expressing itself through your unique form. You have always been victory. You will always be victory. This is your final understanding. This is your ultimate truth. This is your eternal knowing. You are victory itself. And so it is. Rise now and live from this truth. The world is waiting for your victory to express itself. The end is where we begin, for victory was never something to achieve. It was always something to express. Express it now. Express it always. This is your victory. This is your moment. This is your truth. Now and always. Victory is yours.